Terror Realm has officially opened its public testing build for 3 days, allowing players to try a small portion of the full game. The game has been heavily teased and hyped by both the testers and the developers, and they've done a great job building anticipation. In today's video, I'll be sharing my thoughts, criticism, and overall experience with the PTB. I'll also give you my personal opinion on how the game can improve. So, let's get into it.
Here comes my favorite part of the song. Hope y'all ready for this. Shimmy, shimmy, yeah.
The game currently features 4 survivors known as convicts and 3 killers referred to as anomalies. Each convict has abilities designed around active gameplay. Their kits encourage direct interaction with the killers, especially during chases, in order to gain the best value. This design perfectly complements the game's intended fast-paced nature. The current convicts in the PTB are Wando, Bloom, the Community, and Rocketeer. Each of them has distinct visual design and unique lore, which helps them stand out from one another. On the other side, we have the anomalies, Reiko Boxer, Bloody Mari, and Guess 666. Okay, so I'm gonna summarize most of these things because, good lord, these things, these kits has lots of text in them. Wando, the only Sentinel frontliner in the game currently. His entire kit revolves around staying face to face with the killer during chases to build up adrenaline. He has Rush. Wando dashes forward in the directions he's facing, pushing aside any convict in his path. Punch, a melee punch with a 0.5 second windup that can stun a killer up to 2 seconds. When the adrenaline bar reaches half or full, Rush becomes enhanced. Now it's an unstoppable high-speed dash that lasts for 5 seconds. During this state, Wando can even pick up fellow convicts, enabling punch saves. When punch becomes enhanced, now starts the killer for 3 seconds instead of 2. Okay, that was a mouthful. Now, from my experience playing Wando, he's not really my favorite. Don't get me wrong, his kit design is great. It forces the player to actually fulfill their role as a frontliner and stay active in chases, which I expect. However, it's just not my cup of tea. In fact, I ended up causing more trouble for my teammates than for the anomaly while playing him. Misusing Rush at the wrong time can easily disrupt your own team. Overall, though, he's still a well-designed frontliner. He rewards brave, calculated play. He's just not a character that fits my personal style. Rocketeer, the range support character and the star convict of the game. His skill is simple on paper but surprisingly hard to master in practice. He has Bomb Trap, an explosive mine that disrupts the anomaly vision and slows them when triggered. It has a 2-second deployment animation, meaning placement timing is crucial. Rocket Launcher, a range attack that fires, well, a rocket. It deals splash damage and can stun a killer for up to 3 seconds if they're caught in a blast radius. My experience with Rocketeer is complicated. Not because he's bad, but because of how annoying he is to play against. As the anomaly, it's heavily suggested that you eliminate Rocketeer first. His mines are incredibly disruptive. They have a large trigger radius, and as of now, anomalies can't disarm them at all. A good Rocketeer player will genuinely make you want to rip your head out. And I'm not gonna lie, he's actually really fun to play. Bloom, currently the only healer in the game. Unlike most healers in other asymmetrical games, where you press one button and instantly restores a teammate from 50% to full, Bloom requires constant activity and awareness to be effective. Her healing isn't burst-based by default, it's gradual, controlled, and very team-oriented. Living Touch, Bloom creates a healing orb that tracks any injured convicts within her field of vision. Each orb heals 2 health with a maximum of 3 charges that replenish after a short time. Ivy Whip, a close-range AoE disruption ability that slows any anomaly caught in its range. It's mainly a defensive tool rather than an offensive one. When using her abilities, you slowly fill her bar. When Bloom's healing bar is filled, no matter how much, she can activate this ability, Rejuvenating Blossom. It releases a burst heal in a close-range AoE around her. The more survivors hit by the burst, the stronger healing becomes. It also heals Bloom herself. Playing Bloom is painful. You constantly have to micromanage healing, build up your stored healing bar, and stay aware of the anomaly at all times. The problem is, she has almost no escape tools. Ivy Whip has a wind-up animation and only slow enemies, meaning it won't save you in most direct chase situations. She is extremely team-reliant. If your team protects you, she can carry sustained fights. If they don't, you're in trouble. However, if you have 2 Blossoms on the same team, safe to say taking damage becomes a lot less scary. And lastly, for the convicts, we have the Community, the Rage Baiter, a survivalist support hybrid whose entire playstyle revolves around rage baiting the killer. He has a rating bar. When filled, increases his maximum health and reduces his ability cooldowns. You build up ratings by doing positive actions such as running your abilities, being chased without getting hit, and picking up items. However, ratings will decrease if you get hit or if you linger near a stun anomaly. So you're rewarded for skillful, clean gameplay, but not passive play. For abilities, he has Assisting Alert. The community pulls out a megaphone and shouts in the direction he's facing. If it hits an anomaly, they are pushed back and slowed. while also highlighting them in the process. Taunting Tormentor. The community performs 3 taunts, creating an area around itself. If an anomaly is within range, they are slowed. If a convict is within range, they gain a speed boost. If all 3 taunts suspend the effect of the killer, the community immediately dashes away at a high speed. However, after the dash ends, he becomes stunned for 3 seconds. Cutaway. This ability costs 45 ratings to deploy. The community deploys a cardboard cut of himself that generates 1.5 ratings per second. If the anomaly makes contact with it, they are inflicted with helpless and stunnless for a short duration. I really enjoy playing as the community. His kit is designed entirely around disrupting anomalies and rewarding confident skilled play. You're encouraged to get chased, outplay the killer, and land your abilities perfectly, which fits my playstyle a lot. He feels active, expressive, and satisfying when played well.
I am going to Jeff the Killer!
Bloody Mari is the star anomaly and specializes in rushdown gameplay. Her entire kit is mainly focused with 2 mobility-based abilities that allow her to quickly engage targets. Her main gimmick is Grudge. She can mark a specific convict with a grudge, and any marked target takes increased damage when hit by her. She has Pursuit, a high-speed rush that launches her forward, damaging and passing through any convicts she hits while shoving them aside. However, if she collides with her grudge target, she immediately stops on contact. Fracture, a short forward dash that deals damage and knocks back any convicts hit. If she hits convict with this ability, she can designate them as her new grudge target. Shattering Scream, a frontal scream that reveals any convict's caught in its range. If she has an active grudge target, that convict will be revealed to her regardless of positioning when this ability is used. Overall, she's simple to understand but difficult to master. However, she is not my favorite. I understand that she is the slasher of this game, but even then, her abilities feel slippery and I don't really like that. She is probably the strongest anomaly currently, but again, I don't really like her, and I don't really have that much fun playing as her. She feels strong, but her playstyle isn't really my cup of tea. Draco Luxor is easily the fan favorite anomaly right now. He's under a close range rushdown killer similar to Bloody Mari, but his kit uses more of a stealthy playstyle. His main gimmick is the Bloodlust bar, which fills up whenever he damages convicts. Once full, it unlocks a powerful transformation that changes how he plays. He has In Search of Bodies, a detection ability that turns Draco translucent, hides his terror radius, and increases his movement speed when the bloodlust meter is filled. Feral Frenzy. Draco launches forward in a rush. During the dash, you can steer by moving your camera left to right. If he collides with a wall, the ability ends immediately and he's stunned for 2 seconds. If he lands on a convict, he pounces them and deals 45 damage. Dracotic Rage. When his bloodlust bar is full, Draco can transform to his giant form. This replaces his first 2 abilities with stronger form exclusive ones. Prey Hunting. Draco stands still briefly, then charges forward in a straight line, trampling any convict in his path and dealing heavy damage. Earth Shatter. Draco stomps the ground, creating a massive shockwave that damages all convicts caught in its radius. Overall, Draco is currently on par with Bloody Mari. His ability to hide his areas makes ambushing incredibly strong, and Feral Frenzy is an X catch-up and burst damage too. However, his giant form feels underwhelming. Feral Frenzy often feels better than Prey Hunting because it's faster, more flexible, and covers more distance. Earth Shatter is decent, but it doesn't feel impactful enough to justify losing your stealth and mobility from normal form. Right now, his base form feels stronger and more rewarding than his transformation, which shouldn't be the case for an ultimate ability. I'd like to see this giant form become more impactful and rewarding because at that moment, it feels inferior to staying in his normal state. Guess 666 is the dedicated trapper killer of the game, and he's extremely map dependent. On wide open maps, it's very difficult to win with him because you have too much space to avoid his setup. But on small and close maps, it can feel almost like a free win due to how well his traps control tight areas. Unsuck Insignia is his traps. If a convict steps on it, they are slowed and the insignia explodes, dealing heavy damage, rackrolls them, and grants G66 a speed boost. Omnipresence. G666 extends his arm and deploys a floating eye in the direction he's pointing. The eye reveals nearby survivors and grants him a speed boost when it detects someone. He can also teleport to the eye, destroying it in the process, and detonating any nearby insignias he has placed. Prosecution. G666 begins flying and becomes immune to stuns. His basic attack is replaced with a range hook that pulls Swearer towards him. When a Swearer is hooked, a minigame begins where G666 must successfully reel them in, while the Swearer tries to escape. However, while Prosecution is active, all of his other abilities are disabled until duration ends. My experience playing against a Guest 66 is actually fun. His traps isn't that oppressing, and it's actually pretty doable to avoid it. But in my experience as playing as him, map dependency is not what I like. And also his third ability, disabling his entire kit, also throws me off. While I understand that he's designed to lure convict into his on-stock insignias, experienced players can carefully disarm or avoid them by moving back and forth strategically. And he's definitely a unique take on a trapper killer, especially with the teleport and detonate mechanic. But overall, he's just not for me. Let's start with the things I like. First of all, the game looks really good. The maps are vibrant, polished, and visually well designed. Each one feels distinct, which makes matches more enjoyable instead of repetitive. Another thing that I really appreciated is the voice acting. Characters like Bloom and the community have voice lines that genuinely added personality into them. Bloom especially surprised me. At first, I assumed she would be a soft, gentle character, but she actually comes off as serious and slightly bratty.
Here! This should patch your wounds up! Get in here before I force you to! Get in here before I force you to! Brick, kind of needs some assistance here.
Which cut me off guard in a good way. It gave her more depth. And maybe it's related to her lore, but I don't really know her lore, so if any of you know about it, tell me in the comments. The community is also incredibly well voiced. His voice actor perfectly captures that annoying yet somehow charming energy, which fits his lore and playstyle perfectly.
Hey, look over here, not to that!
I also love the small detail when you die as a survivor, a distinguished purple figure greets you and comments on your performance. If you play poorly, he literally shoots you in the head.
Just for the record, it was awful meeting you.
It's such a small feature, but it adds so much personality to the game. And lastly, I genuinely love the character design and kits. Every convict having abilities tied directly to chase interactions makes the gameplay constantly engaging. It doesn't feel boring or overly passive at the same time. The characters aren't overly simple, they have depth without being unnecessarily complicated. Now let's move on to the things that I didn't like. Balancing. Oh my god, the balancing. From my experience, the stacking nerfs are barely noticeable. Because of that, heavy stunners like Rocketeer can completely dominate matches. Now, imagine pairing that with 2 or 3 Bloom players constantly sustaining the team, a strong community player disrupting you, and a couple of wonders frontlining. That combination is an absolute nightmare for a killer to deal with. Up next, we get the map design issues. While the map looks great visually, they are not balanced gameplay-wise. There are simply too many god loops on each map. Most maps have at least 3 to 4 extremely safe loops, making it incredibly difficult for anomalies to catch convicts during chases. Another major issue while I was playing the PTB is the stamina drain for anomalies. When no convicts are nearby, the killer's stamina drains while running. This makes it almost impossible to catch up if survivors already have a significant distance and advantage. Like, sure, in the FDF they have this problem too, but in that game, most maps can be blocked off. You cannot do this in this game if you're not playing Guess 666, which I really hope that the developers actually fix this before the full game release. Overall, right now, the PTB feels heavily server-sided. I really hope the developers make major balance adjustments before the full release, because I genuinely want this game to succeed. You can tell people working on it truly care about the project, and that's why I'm being critical. The foundation is strong for the future for this game. So, in conclusion, is Terror Realm's PTB really worth the hype? Honestly, yes, but with conditions. The core gameplay is fun, the characters feel unique, the voice acting adds charm and personality, the chase-focused design keeps matches engaging instead of repetitive, there's clear passion behind the project, and that already puts it above a lot of other asymmetrical games. But the balancing right now is rough. It feels heavily survivor-sided, certain team comps are overwhelming, maps are too safe, and stamina mechanics hurt the killer momentum more than they help it. The potential is there, it's just buried under the balance issues that need serious tuning. If the developers address these problems before the full release, this game could genuinely stand out in the genre and might overthrow Forsaken. Right now, the PTB shows promise. And so, thank you for watching this video, and I'll see you all on the full release of Terror Realm. Goodbye.